Yeah, do you know on Wiggins yet?
Not yet. He's going to warm up.
Okay.
Must have really nailed that finger.
Yeah. Couldn't have felt good.
I mean, you probably watched the tape back. I kind of asked you the other night, but defensively, it did seem kind of like one of your more focused efforts. Like, what was the key the other night?
I think we did a better job of defending without fouling. Weak side was better. Corey Joseph is great. His minutes when he's out there, he's so locked into the game plan. Weak side help, tagging, hitting offensive rebounders. He's really good. Brandon was great, understanding coverages and like making guys have to think a little bit before they attacked. So our reserves did a great job. J.K. was his best game defensively, really was focused. And so, again, watching the tape, the bench was huge for us.
Steve, I know last year was a real struggle for your team getting to the free throw line, compounded with the fouling issues. I know you've discussed the fouling issues. You're still there defensively, but why do you think your team is so much better offensively at getting to the line compared to last year?
This year compared to last? It's a good question. I mean, we've never really been, a high free throw attempt team. We're more of a jump shooting team. I don't really have a good answer for you. We're offensive rebounding much better. Or maybe we're getting some, some free throw attempts out of that. Personnel's a little bit different. We've got, some changes there that, Dario can post up and get to the rim and draw fouls, but I don't have a great answer for you.
Coach, what's the signal for you that your bench is playing well and in rhythm? The group of, with Kuminga, Pajemski, that really played well there. What's that signal? What do you look for to say, okay, they're in rhythm, they're playing well?
Well, it's always about two-way basketball. Can you get stops and can you find a way to score? And what made the group good the other night was they defended well, and then the ball moved, and having Clay with them, I think he scored 10 straight points in the fourth quarter. So they did a good job of getting him the ball. Kuminga had a really good dribble handoff with him. Brandon found him a couple of times. Moses made a great play, diving on the floor and getting a long rebound and finding Clay. So hustle plays, and then being able to play both ends. That's what we're looking for.
What does Draymond do for you, just organizing everything on the offensive side and on the defensive side?
Yeah, I mean,
you had a 5-game sample size where he wasn't there, right? Now,
right.
A couple games right back again.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it before. We don't have a single championship without Draymond. That's just the truth. He just ties us together. He makes us a team that doesn't just have skill but has grit and an edge, and he's the guy who generally gets us organized defensively. He's behind the play, kind of our middle linebacker, and talking to everybody. Communication goes way up on the defensive end. And then he allows Steph to play off the ball a little bit more. And, he's been our leading assist guy for many years. Chris is obviously this year, but Draymond sort of does everything for us.
We've been having the Draymond Looney pairing conversations for years. Can you guys go with it offensively? I assume some of the struggles this year are kind of related to other people's struggles, but where are you at on that combo and how playable it is?
Well, the first unit that we've talked about that's been so good the last couple of years, that we're really looking for that group to make sense and to solidify. And the only way it really works is if our guards are playing well offensively. The way you make up for the lack of spacing with that group is perimeter scoring, and that really enhances all the screen setting and ball handling that Draymond and Loon take care of. So it really is an ensemble, and if all 5 guys aren't in sync, then we have to go away from it, and that's why we're really focused on trying to get to that point where that 5-man group can get back to last year's level, and that sort of clarifies everything for our team.
You had the early sub the other night to get Sarge in the third.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? I mean, you mentioned it right there. Do you have to know earlier this year, it ain't working? Get a spacer out there.
I think every matchup's a little different, and so the way that game was going and the way the Clippers were playing us, it felt like we needed to get spacing right away with Dario, and that's why we made that move. The game before, Looney, we need Loon out there to guard Sabonis, and he's, so every matchup's going to be a little different, and we just have to be flexible.
Steve is someone who's had experience integrating high-level personalities. What do you think is particular about Ty that makes him up to the challenge he's got this season? And how much does coach technique make a difference in that scenario?
Working with Ty this past summer, I got a really up-close look at how he handles players and his relationship with them, and his tone in film sessions, his ability to demand effort, but also to be able to connect with the guys through humor and just really good communication. So I think Ty's a great coach, and he was really fun to work with, and we're really looking forward to next summer too.
Is there anything that surprised you about working with him?
Not really. I mean, I knew he was a great coach. We've had so many battles over the years, and so I knew that schematically he was really good at what he does. But it's always fun to get an inside look at a guy leading a film session, watching both Ty and Spo do their thing with our group was fun to watch, and it just showed why they're such good coaches.
He says he has a good picture of you playing against each other, and he came out on the winner's side of that outcome. So
that I did, or he did?
He did.
He did.
Of course, he's the one talking about it.
Well, he played for like 15 different teams, so it could have been. There were probably lots of matchups. Of course, I played for 14, so.
And Coach, I want to ask you about Moses. What have you seen from him this year?
Moses,
yes, sir. What have you seen from him this year? It seems like you've been going to him a lot lately, and he's playing a lot of confidence. What have you seen in his growth?
I think we're seeing a typical third-year jump for a young player. Moses would be a senior in college right now if he stayed in school. So he's still very, very young, but now he's got 2.5 years of understanding of the league, fundamental work every single day in practice, awareness of our personnel and how Steph plays and how Draymond plays, and he's just getting more and more comfortable. Biggest thing with Moses is that he reminds me of Looney a lot. He's unbelievably professional. He's just every day he's got the same temperament, the same approach, never gets too high or too low, just goes out and does his job day after day. But he's just getting better and better with the experience.
Steve, you've had so many players have to sacrifice on your teams over the years. Obviously, even Steph has come off the bench at times. Of course, a different situation here with Russ, but what are your thoughts on him and his move to the bench and just what that's done for the Clippers?
It's hard for me to ever comment on other teams' inner workings. So I don't know what I could say other than Russ is such an explosive player, and he changes the game as soon as he's on the floor, just with his power and his speed. And but I can't really comment on their lineup combinations and all that stuff.
In terms of the sacrifice element, how have you seen that play out with your teams, and how has that changed from player to player? Is that something that is tough for you? I know you have had guys that are willing to do that, but with this situation with the Clippers, obviously it was kind of unique. Just what do you think about just that overall sacrifice element? Well,
I think every team has to have someone set a tone. For us, 8 years ago, it was Andre Iguodala. He had never come off the bench his entire career, and he agreed to do it. And 8 months later, he was Finals MVP. It felt like the basketball gods shining down on him. Steph has sacrificed many times over the years, coming off an injury where we've brought him off the bench, Draymond too. So you just need tone setters, you need leaders within the team, and we've been fortunate to have that.
But you've always had to deal with, having a lot of top-tier talent, the expectation of championships, and obviously that's something the Clippers have right now. I'm curious what you would have to say to those who, in such a results-driven league, things take time. There's a process to a lot of these things. What would you say about those who want the results right away, not kind of seeing the long-term picture?
Well, that's kind of the nature of the game today. I think when I entered the league in 1988, the salary cap was $8 million. $8 million. And I remember Tom Chambers signed a free agent contract for $2 million a year, and everybody was just blown away, like, oh my God, he's making $2 million a year. That was a quarter of the cap, But franchises were worth $20 million, $30 million at that time. It's a completely different era. We're a billion-dollar industry. Everybody wants results right away. You see across the league, everybody's going for it. Everybody who has a reasonable shot at winning a title is going for it, selling all their assets. And so it puts everybody into a position where they're expected to perform, expected to succeed, and no matter how you slice it, the math means that a lot of people are going to fail. So you just walk into it with your eyes wide open, and you embrace it, and you do the best you can, and you just remember this is an industry where you're lucky to stick around for as long as I have, for sure. And a lot of it is good fortune and timing, and if you're lucky to be with a great organization with great management and great talent, you can probably extend it for a while. But most teams are in flux all the time. It's a really tough business.
You remember what the minimum was back then?
I do, because I made it. $75,000.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought I was rich too. I mean, I was compared to what I had been, but yeah.
Second apron was like $10 million, I think.
Second apron? Yeah.
Was that a pay cut from Arizona or no?
What's that?
Was it a pay cut from
Oh,
Arizona?
wow. You obviously didn't know Lute Olson very well.
Yeah.
Kidding.
You weren't that big of a recruit either, right? They went to NIL you.
No NIL, definitely not. Yeah, I think I paid them to take me in.
Coach, I know that you got Clay, Steph, and Draymond. Oh, they always get default. They kind of get all the minutes, or most of the minutes. Then you guys got younger guys like Moody coming in. How tough is it to kind of figure out who I should bench now and who I should play the younger guys? Maybe this guy's got to go in tonight, so how do I get this guy more minutes?
I think every team is different. I think this year's team, there are some really difficult choices because I think we're very deep. I'm actually excited about playing, guys when they get an opportunity. Brandon Pajemski's going to be really good. He's already really good. 2 games ago, he wasn't in our rotation because we were healthy. And what we have to determine this year as a coaching staff is some clarity in our roster, and we won a championship. It's only a year and a half ago, and so we know the guys who led us to that title, and we think we can get that group functioning at a really high level, and we're going to give them every opportunity to do so. But we also have some good young players who are ready to step in if there's an injury or if we don't get the performance that we need. At some point in the season, you have to make that judgment as a coach if you're going to make any changes. But I believe in our guys. I think we can play at a really high level. I know people are kind of throwing dirt on us right now, but I like this team a lot. Great vibe, great spirit. And if we can get things kind of lined up and we can make some improvement in certain areas, I think we can have a great team.
Terrific.